Hello and welcome to my first election coverage live from the brand new Spartan Newsroom. I'm Olivia Rubick. We're live all day today with our first ever Election Day coverage coming to you from Michigan State's campus. Our guest this afternoon is Shruti Sarapelli and Min Wong, who are international students studying journalism here at Michigan State. Thanks for joining us today. Okay, so girls, tell me about where are you from and what brought you here to Michigan State?
I'm from Hyderabad, which is in the southern part of India, and I was an architect back in India, so I'm just here trying to be a journalist. And yeah, the program here at MSU actually brought me to East Lansing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Miwa. I'm from China and doing my master degree of journalism here.
And what do your families at home think of this, man? You're from China, you said. What do they think about this election, the election process? What are your family and friends saying?
I would say more and more younger generation in China are paying more and more attention to the election process, especially for those who want to study abroad here at the U.S. because they really want to know what's happening here. But like my parents' generation, they actually just know a little bit. But at least the content over social media are like kind of drawing more attention to them.
Shruti, what is your election process like in India? Tell us about that.
So the election process in India is very, very different. It's the parliamentary system in India, which I know is because of the British legacy left behind. We were a former British colony. So even if both of us are democracies, it's very, very different. And we don't have any individual candidates campaigning. We have the party campaigning on the whole, and we just vote for a particular party. They get together and elect our prime minister. And we have a president too, but it's mostly ceremonial. He doesn't have any real power. So it's basically the prime minister who governs the entire country. And then we have chief ministers for each and every state. And it's different because the states don't have as much power and as much independence as they do here in the United States. And each individual state is still pretty dependent on the center for funding and policy and legislation, almost everything else.
Yeah, that's very different from the U.S. Now, to Americans, this election has been crazy. There's a lot of talk about it. What do you guys think? How do you think that the election process, you mentioned how it's different from India. What do you think of this election process?
For me personally, I enjoy those presidential episodes of Saturday Night Live and or South Park. For those shows over media, yeah, for me, I really enjoy it. I actually found it's more like entertaining, like more than like serious politics. And I really appreciate this long process which allow every citizen in America that have time to get to know the candidate better and better, and to actually consider who are they gonna vote, and every citizen's voice can be heard. Yeah.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that one, man. I think it's too long, and yeah, it's been going on for almost 2 years, from what I can understand, and it's just too long. And when it is this long, I feel it's become a little messy as well, and yeah.
I think many people would agree with you on that as well. So we talked about the election process. How do you feel about the specific candidates for this 2016 election, if you've been following?
Yes, I have been following this election, and I am very surprised actually with everything that Donald Trump has said, and I'm still actually very surprised how he is still in the running to be the president of United States. I mean, for me, this is the single biggest platform you can have in the free world, and to have someone like Donald Trump actually be in the running for that position is very, very surprising. And yeah, I don't have very much to say about Clinton because for me and where I come from, she is like the perfect definition of a politician. And I feel like I'm missing something. I just don't understand all the hate that she gets. Like, I feel like, okay, I've been here only for 6 months, but then did I miss something? Like, why do people hate her so much? But yeah, that's how I feel about the individual candidates.
Yeah, I have followed up a little bit about the process, Actually, I feel like the agenda setting addressed some issues to people's attention. Like for Clinton's side, like the college tuition, which are more and more college students like go straight and doing the protest for. Yeah, I think that issue is related to us, ourselves, and for Trump's side, because he mentioned over and over again about the immigration issue, like the wall he's gonna build. Yeah, yeah, those are some like social media joys us.
Thank you so much for joining us today, girls. Now we're going to go right outside the newsroom live to Danielle Rogers, who is with another international student.
It's a little bit tricky for the voters because they don't have much time to know their candidates, to know who are they voting for, and so that's kind of tricky. And another major difference is that unlike here, we have a lot of candidates. Like we have about 30 candidates, so basically everybody can run for president as long as they meet certain requirements which are established by the high institutional court of Madagascar. Mm.
Okay, so if those are the only positions like president or are elected, are other positions appointed?
Yeah, like our prime minister is appointed by the president, and so and then in turn, all ministers are appointed by the prime minister. Mhm.
How would the outcome of the U.S. election affect Madagascar?
Yeah, the election would affect Madagascar, especially in terms of trade, because we have important trade agreements such as the AGOA, the African Growth and Opportunity Act, which is a very important trade deal for African countries. And so the outcome of the election can affect Madagascar in terms of new foreign trade policy implemented by the new president. Mhm.
Thank you so much for speaking with us today.